Oh, that sound. The sweet sound of the music that plays and the Ebon Hawk. It's been a few days since I recorded, and the sound of the Ebon Hawk music, it feels like coming home. There's welcome back. I am Jake. This is Knights of the Old Republic 2, and it's so good to be in the Ebon Hawk. Today we're gonna have our first bit of dialogue first long bit of dialogue as we talk to Kreia, T3, and Atten aboard the Ebon Hawk, and we will make it to Telos. So as T3 has graced us with his presence, let's start with him as he goes about fixing up the ship. You look like you've suffered a lot of damage over the years. How much damage? So you lost a lot of programs in your behavior core in addition to the damage to your frame? Well, I'm sure you'll gain that skill back. I'm glad to have you along. I might be able to upgrade your memory core. No, T3 doesn't trust me enough. So this is something else that's new. There's certain activities, certain dialogue choices are locked off with your companions, depending on how much influence you have with them. So we've been building up Atten's influence, so we'll be able to unlock new dialogue choices. And with T3, not only do you need relevant skills, like that one was for computer use, you also need influence as well. So T3 doesn't trust me enough yet to root around in his computer core. So, some other questions? I need a programming spike. Can you make any more? 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 Alright. So because we were nice to T3, we got a bit of influence, and we got a whole bunch of computer spikes. This is why you don't really need to worry about computer spikes the further into the game you go, because I don't know exactly what causes it, whether it's an in-game timer or like quest progression, but T3 will be able to make new spikes for you. I don't think there's anything. Yeah, there's a security system over here. This just gives you. That is the one I should not have clicked. This just gives you cameras to all the different areas. It's nice that it's there, but it has no functionality really. But as we saw here, low security door that actually doesn't require security to open. In the storage hold, we have a damaged HK unit that is bronze, or yeah, I'd say that's bronze instead of the silvery model. So let's take a look at this. Nice work, camera. This looks like the remains of an HK unit, but older and more corroded than the one you encountered on Progress. Its power core still carries a charge, but a number of critical parts appear to be missing. Diagnose the droid, and T3 makes a sad sound. It looks as if the droid is missing 4 critical components: its droid processor, a replacement droid chassis, the control cluster that's supposed to be stored in the chassis, and its vocabulator. Well, from the T3, or rather from the HK unit we fought in Progress, we picked up a vocabulator. So we can take the vocabulator and insert it into the core. Success, you have installed the droid's vocabulator. So, now we have a quest to restore this HK unit. I wonder if anything will come of that. Now, there's nothing else to do right now. I think that's true. Ah, wait. Oh. So there's a hidden compartment on here with a Jedi robe, interestingly. A Bazak card. Not going to need that for a little bit. Advanced med pack. Sonic carbine. That's not bad. Some money, a reaction system. I don't remember what a reaction system does. Well, I can't use it anyway. Dexterity +3. That's... There's some merit to that. Goodness. But, actually... Yeah, sure, let's put that on for a while. We totally look the part of a Jedi now. That we're also not trying to be. Anywho, let's finally have a nice chat with Kreia, who lost an arm, and we felt it. So, let's talk about that and what she knows about the Sith.
Have you come for more answers? There is little more left to give.
When you lost your hand, I felt it too.
That does not surprise me, any more than you hearing my thoughts when we were apart. The pain, however, was unexpected. If I could, I would have shielded you from it.
If I could, I would have protected you.
Save your pity. I am here to save you, not the other way around.
Let's see. If we travel together, then we need to work together.
I do not need your condescension nor your lectures. If anyone needs training and guidance, it is you.
The pain I felt when you lost your hand, what if it had been more intense?
I do not know. I fear that the consequences would have been more extreme.
More extreme? I felt like my hand was dipped in molten carbonite.
Then the sensation you would feel upon my death might be less than that, though much quicker.
Quicker? Would it have killed me?
Possibly, yes, and I fear it works both ways. I would not wish to test it, nor should you.
Then what can we do? I don't want my actions to place you at risk.
When battle is upon us, I suspect our minds are prepared enough to shield each other from the pain. I think we shall not have a repeat incident of what happened at Paragus.
How could this bond have happened?
I confess its nature eludes me as well, but the bond is strong, and its roots run deep. It seems the Force flows easily between us. When one of us manipulates the Force to heal or strengthen ourselves, the other is aided as well.
You and Kreia possess the Force Chain ability. When either of you uses a Force power on yourself, the other gains the benefit as well. So, what she's describing is a Force bond, which was present in the first Knights of the Old Republic game as well. It's a connection in the Force between two individuals that usually only happens between masters and their Padawans, for example. Some people who have been together for a long time, and thus it coalesces over time. But this has emerged very recently, very suddenly. And the Force flows between both Kreia and I. Now, in the first Knights of the Republic, Republic game, there was a bond between Bastila and the player character, as a result of spoilers, by the way, in case you haven't played the first game. But I mean, why? Who hasn't at this point? There was a Force bond between Bastila and the main character because the main character is Revan, and the Jedi. I don't remember exactly how it happened. I think it happened because the Jedi altered Revan's personality in an attempt to kind of manipulate them. So that, that's not necessarily what happened in this instance, but we'll definitely keep an eye on this Force chain, this Force bond.
A powerful technique indeed, though, as we have noticed, it has its drawbacks.
So what do we do now?
I do not know. The Sith struck more swiftly than I thought, and they will not stop until they have you in their grasp. If you fall, all the galaxy will echo it.
Again, there's another mention of echoing. There's anyway. Well, I feel like that will come up again. There must be some place we can go.
It does not matter where we go. It is not the destination that matters. It is the journey. All paths will take us to the end, whatever it may be, and no matter how strongly we fight against it. For now, we are bound for Telos, and that is enough.
So, I love that line, because as someone keen to the Force, Kreia understands that the Force has a destiny in mind for a lot of things, and so at one point in time it's saying that the Force itself has a plan for our destiny, but it's also talking about obviously the game. It's kind of a meta story at this point, because it's also talking about how it doesn't matter where we go, we're ultimately going to reach the end. It's not desperately overt in this game, but it does. There are definitely some elements to it in which it's not just talking about the player or the Force in general. It's talking, or rather the player character. It's also talking about the player themselves and the fact that this is a video game. But that's the first we get to see of it. So enough for what?
Before the war, Jedi who failed their training were sent to the fields of Telos to serve the galaxy, not as Jedi Knights, but as farmers and laborers. The destruction of Telos was complete. I doubt any Jedi remain. Yet there may be echoes of their passing. We shall see.
More echoing. And what if we find no trace of Jedi teachings on Telos to help us?
Then I am left with nothing more than we had already. My faith in you and your ability to meet what comes.
So a lot of trust placed in us by Kreia.
Ask, and I will answer.
I need to know more about the Sith haunting us.
These Sith, they seek the death of all Jedi, as have all the Sith, since the Jedi Order was first split.
First split?
Yes. The Jedi Civil War is not the first one of its kind. Thousands of years ago, the Jedi had another civil war that split the Order. It was a terrible thing. A faction among the Jedi abandoned the teachings of the Order, following their own path. They waged war on their fellow Jedi, a war that raged across the galaxy. But these fallen Jedi were cast out, defeated, and they retreated to worlds in the Outer Rim. Over time, they took on the mantle of the Lords of the Sith. But in their hearts they never forgot the Jedi. The hatred for the Jedi Order burns in their veins like fire and echoes in their teachings. Revan tasted it, as Malak did.
So these Sith continue the crusade?
In a manner of speaking. They are different from Malak in that they are concerned only with the destruction of the Jedi. For them, it is all that matters, all that ever mattered. It is a different war these Sith wage, a thing of silence and shadow. They strike from the darkness, hiding from the face of the galaxy until all Jedi are exterminated. After all the Jedi are gone, then the galaxy is theirs, no matter whether the Sith or the Republic rules. It is the dark side that shall reign, unchecked.
I've never seen Sith assassins like those on the Harbinger.
I believe them to be the result of special teachings. Their apparent weakness against you is evidence of this. Those Sith assassins can sense their prey through the Force. It is like a hunger. They feed and grow stronger when they are near Force sensitives. The stronger their prey is in the Force, the deadlier they become. As long as you were cut off from it, you were able to evade their sight. But after Paragus, I fear that you will be no longer shielded from their eyes, or the eyes of their masters. The stronger you grow, the more will come.
So a lot to unpack there. First of all, it's the first mention of something that's going to come up later, this hunger in the Force. It's seeking out the Force and Force sensitives and consuming it in a way. As you saw, the Sith assassins on the Harbinger didn't use Force powers, but they use the Force in a sense to seek out individuals like myself. And also, I was cut off from the Force. That's another thing that was interesting. I mean, we kind of knew that already, but we don't know why.
Ask, and I will answer.
When we were on Progress, I could feel the Force again.
Indeed. And was it the same as before?
I love this line. It was like a whisper at the edge of hearing.
If my suspicions are correct, perhaps the damage the Jedi Council did was not as permanent as they thought. It is not an easy thing to cut one off from the Force.
Wait, the Jedi did this to me?
What did you believe? That you suddenly lost your connection with the Force without reason?
But to cut someone off from the Force, it's like losing all of your senses at once.
Indeed it is. It is much like losing one's ability to listen, or being put into a deep sleep, unable to awaken to the galaxy around you. Such a thing has been done before, when Jedi have pronounced sentence on their own, and exiled them as they did you.
I don't believe the Jedi would inflict such a punishment on someone. It seems too cruel.
If not the Jedi, then what did you think was the cause of such a loss?
So I'm going to read these answers out because one of the things that's really great about this game, and any game really, any well-written game that shows you all of the options that you have in full before you choose what specifically you're going to say, is it can teach you about your character without explanation. Your character can take part in your personal understanding of who that character is. So I thought in defying the Jedi Order to follow Revan to war, I thought I had somehow lost my connection to the Force. I had thought the Mandalorian Wars the cause. I did much that I am not proud of. I believe that serving Revan had corrupted me. I thought that the war had driven me to the dark side and severed me from my powers. And I'm going to go with, I had thought the Mandalorian Wars were the cause. I did much that I am not proud of.
War leaves many scars, but rarely does it blind one to the Force. If anything, conflict and challenge may make the connection stronger, more intense. No matter what horrors you experienced in the war, no matter who you served, it is unlikely that the Force would be lost to you unless another factor was involved.
Can my connection to the Force be healed?
It is possible that such a thing can be undone. Still, even so, the chances of the Jedi undoing such a thing for a traitor is a slim thing at best, assuming they yet live.
But the Force, I can feel it again, if only slightly.
Our link may have had other consequences. Perhaps you can hear the Force again, distantly, through me. If so, then there is hope. I may be able to teach you, train you to feel the Force again. And if you will not allow me to help you, then other Jedi must train you, or undo the damage they have done.
So another mention of the hearing the Force through her. It's not something that I'm doing. It's something that I'm responding to because of Kreia. And so this Force bond could be a way in which I can hear that, but that still doesn't answer the question of how that Force bond occurred. So I'm going to say I will honor whatever training you wish to give me.
Do not honor me, fallen Jedi. Honor it by listening and learning. Do that, and perhaps we shall survive this thing, you and I. I offer to train you to become strong again, to know the ways of the Force, and to hear the Force sing within you as it once did.
I will welcome whatever aid you offer.
Then our training shall begin. Whenever I travel with you, I shall impart what I can to you through my words and presence.
Let me see if there's any other questions.
Ask, and I will answer.
Yep, there's one more chain to go down. But before I get to that, we're going to be talking to Kreia a lot. There's going to be a lot of long dialogue. because she has so much to offer, both in terms of story and a little bit in gameplay as well. So we're going to be very familiar with this corner of the Ebon Hawk. So let's see. Can you tell me what has happened since the Mandalorian Wars?
Much has happened in the galaxy in your absence, and since the defeat of the Mandalorians at Malachor 5.
So the Mandalorian Wars were before the Jedi Civil War. That was when Revan, Malak, and a bunch of other Jedi fought the Mandalorians against the wishes of the Jedi Council. Somehow they were changed. They became Sith, and then waged their war on the Republic. Just to say, tell me about the Mandalorian Wars. Probably making everything I just said completely irrelevant.
It is a tale you already know well. Almost a decade ago, the Mandalorians began preying on the Republic, bringing the fires of war to many planets along the Outer Rim. Their predations continued, winning victory after victory, until the Republic finally begged the Jedi Council for aid.
But the Jedi Council didn't help. Only a few of the Jedi Knights did.
Indeed. The Jedi Council counseled caution and patience to assess the Mandalorian threat as the Outer Rim burned.
And Revan and Malak refused to wait.
2 Jedi Knights, Revan and Malak, defied the Jedi Council. They challenged the Mandalorian fierceness and brutality on the battlefield with a viciousness of their own. Revan's entrance into the conflict marked the true beginning and end of the war. It was Revan who drove the Mandalorians back into the unknown regions.
Until we destroyed them at Malachor 5. Interesting phrasing there.
Yes, I have heard tales of Malachor 5 and Revan's part in it. I know you served there in that final battle. It must have been a terrible thing.
Many Jedi died at Malachor 5, and the conflict split the Jedi Order.
You speak the truth. The war's end was merely another beginning, and what seemed a victory for the Republic was far from it. Many believed the Mandalorians defeated at Malachor 5, but the Mandalorians taught the Jedi much through battle, and so it was that Malak, Revan, and the Jedi that followed them discovered their true natures in the Mandalorian Crusade. But you know this.
So now we get to make a judgment on Revan. So we can say that they fell and that the war consumed them. Some battles must be fought. And if I could, I would have followed them. I'm going to say some battles must be fought. It was not Revan's failing.
Did Revan fail? Or was it the failure of the Jedi teachings? A question for another time, perhaps. As Revan and Malak fought the Mandalorians in battle after battle, they grew to despise weakness, just as the Mandalorians did. In the end, the Mandalorians had taught them through conflict, shaped the Jedi, and turned them into a weapon against the Republic.
And that was the Jedi Civil War.
Revan and Malak, and all the Jedi that served them, turned against the Republic and the Jedi Order. Jedi fought Jedi. Revan was ambushed by the Jedi and captured. Malak continued to wage war in his master's place, inflicting terrible wounds on the Republic. Wounds that bleed still.
How were Malak and the Sith defeated?
As all Sith do without a strong enemy, the Sith turned on each other. Revan escaped the Jedi and returned to finish Malak, and that was the end of the Jedi Civil War.
But what happened to Revan?
No one knows, certainly not I. After defeating Malak, Revan left the Republic, and there are none who know where she has gone. It is said that the Sith remnants turned on themselves after Revan defeated Malak, reducing Korriban to ruin as the Republic still bleeds and struggles for life. Where Revan wanders now, I do not know.
You're saying Revan abandoned the war?
It would seem that way from a certain point of view, perhaps. The Jedi Civil War left wounds that have yet to heal. We shall see if the Republic has the strength to survive.
I think my character would say, then we must do what we can until it has a chance to recover from the war.
A culture's teachings, and most importantly the nature of its people, achieve definition in conflict. They find themselves lacking. Too long did the Republic remain unchallenged. It is a stagnant beast that labors for breath, and has for centuries. The Jedi Order was the heart that sustained its sickness. Now the Jedi are lost. We shall see how long the Republic can survive.
So that's Krea's perspective. It's very much a... it's not quite a survival of... Yeah, I guess it's... I guess survival of the strongest, I'll say, is the most appropriate way to define that. She's very much against the Republic, and she feels that the Jedi teachings were at the heart of the weakness of the Republic, which is also reflected in her asking if Revan actually failed or it was the failing of the Jedi teaching as well. So that will certainly come up again in the future. Can anything be done to help the Republic? That's what my character would say.
We shall see. The Jedi Civil War cost the Republic much. The resources of the Sith seemed limitless. The Republic's was not. Fleets of warships, soldiers, and people were lost. Entire planets were decimated. Their inhabitants dead or refugees. It is a great burden for any civilization to bear. And this new threat, it is a quiet thing. Unlike the Jedi Civil War, it drives at something deeper than the strength of the Republic. It is aimed at you.
Because I'm the last Jedi?
The Republic was never what was important, ever. It was but a shell that surrounds the Jedi, just as the teachings of the Jedi are a shell surrounding the heart of man. You see, the war, the true war, has never been one waged by droids or warships or soldiers. They are but crude matter, obstacles against which we test ourselves. The true war is waged in the hearts of all living things, against our own natures, light or dark. That is what shapes and binds this galaxy, not these creations of man. You are the battleground, and if you fall, the death of the Republic will be such a quiet thing, a whisper, that shall herald the darkness to come.
I love this game. What she's saying there is that the setting can change. The setting of this conflict can change. You know, everything around it can change. What's really happening is a battle between the Jedi and the Sith, and not only from the perspective of the game, but from the perspective of the story, this character, my character, is the litmus test of where that pendulum will swing next, whether it will swing to light or to dark. I don't think there's any other questions I have. I
would see to that fool in the cockpit and remind him of our destination. I would not want him attempting to veer from Telos.
Will do. I'll go see him now. Not going to try to contest Krea on her opinions of Atten. I have both lost and gained influence with Krea. Hopefully, it's been a net positive. I've gained some light side points as well. And let's see what Atten has to say in all of this. And you see the sparks. I believe that's the sparks from, T3, just doing some welding. Or Ebon Hawk has seen better days. So let's see what Atten has to say.
How's our passenger? She's still aging?
She seems fine, just needs some rest.
Well, she sure could use it. It might do wonders for her mood, too. She's lucky she's a Jedi, or someone would have killed her years ago. I mean, how old do you think she is? She may have been good-looking once, but it takes some hard living to make creases like that.
Good looking? Are you that desperate?
Hey, I just got out of prison. If we had a decent navicomputer, trust me, we'd be dropping out of hyperspace into the Nar Shaddaa Red Sector right now. After spacing that old witch, of course.
Oh, Atten. Look, ease off the insult. She was wounded helping us escape, remember?
Whoa, all right. Don't get mad at me. Hey, I didn't ask her to stay behind and get her hand cut off, okay? I mean, I appreciate what she did and all, but she could stand to lay off the insults herself, you know?
Yeah, fair point. Are we still on courses for Telos?
Like we have a choice? It's the only place Paragus had logged in their astrogation charts. Well, if you thought Paragus was dead, then Telos is a dying world they're trying to breathe back to life. Should be there before too long. You can check our course on the galaxy map if you want. It's on the wall behind you.
Alright, I'll do that.
So, what happened?
To what?
Don't give me that. There were plenty of times back on Paragus where a lightsaber would have been helpful. So where's yours?
Exiles aren't allowed to keep their lightsabers.
Oh yeah? I thought a Jedi was supposed to be married to their lightsaber. Guess I heard wrong. Were you a single hilt or one of those double-bladed Jedi?
I'll go with a single hilt.
Huh. Figures. It wasn't red, was it?
Both the blade and the crystal were unique.
Yeah? Unique how?
And this is cute. So, all this stuff will come up later, but, Viridian, orange. I'm going to say violet. Yeah, violet, like, I guess that's hurricane gems in the sunset.
Must have been something. Sure be nice to have it now. Might make those Sith think twice before coming after us.
I think having it would just drive them to hunt me harder.
Alright, forget I said anything. Like I said before, you can check our course on the galaxy map if you want. It's on the wall behind you.
I love you. I love you, Atten. I love you. So yeah, nothing left to do. So it hasn't been that long that I've been recording yet. So let's do the very first part of Telos. So I love this. So on the galaxy map, there's a little render of the planet, and the planet itself was completely destroyed. But there's this husk of this connective tissue of city built on top of it, floating above it. The climate is artificially maintained, the terrain is a space station, and we're docking in the landing zone.
Attention, this is Citadel Station Bay Control, Dock Module 126. Please remain where you are. Lieutenant Dahlgren will arrive shortly to meet you. That is all.
I don't like the sound of that. If they think we caused the explosion... Uh-oh. Here comes the welcoming party. They may not know what happened, so don't blow it.
I'm Lieutenant Gren, Telos Security Force. I'm under orders to take you into custody in regards to the destruction of the Paragus mining facility.
Would you believe that Telos, being utterly dependent on the Paragus fuel, is keenly aware of both what happened at Paragus and is desperately involved in that? So, are we under arrest?
You haven't been formally charged, but you will be placed under house arrest pending the results of our investigation. Due to the nature of the investigation, I have no specific timetable to offer you. In the meantime, your ship and any droids will have to be given over for safekeeping. Yes, that includes you. You are a droid, so you will be detained. In addition, we will have to take your personal arms and armor until the completion of our inquiry.
Will I be able to get my gear back?
If you are cleared of any involvement, your personal effects will be returned to you. You will be held briefly in the TSF station until living quarters can be arranged, at which point you will be placed under house arrest. Do you understand?
And it's kind of a Hobson's choice that you can't actually do anything. So yeah, I do. I'll cooperate.
My men will relieve you of any arms and armor. Please follow me.
Tell me I'm not going to jail again.
And someone is making their way towards the Ebon Hawk. Someone clad in white.
You will be held here briefly. Living quarters are being arranged for you and your companions as we speak. Someone will return shortly to escort you to an apartment in residential module 082.
A force cage? This is ridiculous.
As I said, this is only temporary while other arrangements are made. I'm sorry, but you'll just have to bear with us until then.
I understand.
Well, we might be here for a while. Might as well get comfortable.
Someone is coming. So this is the last of the Jedi. I must admit I'm a little disappointed.
You're wrong. I'm no Jedi.
Jedi or no, you're the one I am pledged to kill. There is no mistaking that. The exchange has a bounty on Jedi, you know. You're worth quite a bit of money.
The exchange, huh? I'm pretty sure some two-bit pistol jockey like yourself isn't one of them.
Hey? I'm more than skilled enough to work for the exchange.
You bounty hunters couldn't even win a fair fight. You're the cheapest, most worthless mercenary scum in the galaxy. I'd hire a Mandalorian over your filth in a second.
No Mandalorian could match my skills. No Mandalorian could have been clever enough to infiltrate this station, taken the identity of one of the guards, then...
Then what? Overloaded our force cage fields and made it look like an accident? You probably don't even have the guts to fight me. Pathetic.
Don't think overloading your cages had not occurred to me. You're wanted alive, but I doubt anyone will care as long as I bring them your corpse.
And thus begins the wonderful trend of people seeing a bounty for live Jedi and thinking that dead Jedi will work. As someone who works in retail, I'm intimately familiar with people fundamentally misunderstanding information presented to them. So, we're in a TSF station. How do you expect to get away with this?
The security cameras have mysteriously shorted out. There will be no witnesses to your escape attempt, during which I'll have been forced to kill you. By the time the TSF realize I'm not one of them, I will be far from this place.
Let's get this over with.
Come, Jedi. It is time to die.
Hey, leave him alone. You want to fight? Then try me if you've got the guts.
You have goaded me once, and you shall not do so twice. But I shall dispose of all of you eventually. And an old woman, a fool, and a broken Jedi are no match to my skills.
I somehow doubt that. Hello. Let's just very quickly level up people. So, boosting Atton's dexterity to 18. That will prove very useful. Skills, keep things moving on upwards. Sure, stealth. Feats, we got a new feat. Alright. Could go for improved toughness. Let me see. I think he has dueling, right? No, he does not have dueling. How do I want to handle this? I'm gonna give him 2-weapon fighting as well. Yeah, I'm gonna give him 2-weapon fighting. Because that's eventually the direction I want him to go in. So that looks good to me. Let's level up Kreia as well. Oop, I don't need stealth. Oh. I guess that's fine. Powers. Force shield looks good. We only get 1 this level. That's fine. Oh, she levels up again. Cool. Attributes. Get that wisdom up. One power this level as well. I'm going to go with Force Barrier. Force Barrier sounds good. Actually, that's a light side power, isn't it? Force Body. Yeah. Force Barrier's fine. Okay. Back to me. And I'm just gonna... we'll just attack him. Actually, first thing I'm gonna do is energy resistance. Then attack him.
I hear you.
Yeah, because he's gonna do some damage.
Time to take you down to size.
The security cameras are... What? What's going on here?
Man down! Quick! Call a medic!
All right, Jedi. I want you to back up slowly. Hands in front of you. Into the force cage. Cooperate, and we won't have to gun you down.
Come on, Lieutenant. They've already killed... who is that? Is that Batu Rem?
Impressive. You allowed an assassin to infiltrate your ranks.
Rem's no assassin.
Batu Rem is on leave. He shouldn't even be on the station. This man isn't him.
I'm glad someone noticed that only after he tried to kill me.
We've arranged for an apartment in residential module 082. You'll stay there under house arrest until our investigation of the Paragus matter is complete. You'll be under TSF protection. I'll personally clear any visitors to your quarters, and we'll investigate this incident to the best of our ability.
The best of your ability? That's not very inspiring. Just take me to my quarters.
Officer, get Lieutenant Yima a report of this incident. She'll look into this. The rest of you come with me. We'll escort you to the apartment in 082 immediately.
And Atten mysteriously teleports there before any of us. Impressive. That'll come in handy.
These will serve as your quarters for the duration of your house arrest. 2 officers will be stationed outside at all times. Again, I'll clear any visitors. There won't be another incident.
But just to be on the safe side, why don't you leave us a blaster or 2?
How long will I be here?
I can't say. We have a ship examining what's left of the Paragus facility now, so your stay might be brief. We'll keep you informed.
Now, this is a step up from a force cage, at least.
If there are any problems, we'll use the wall terminal to contact you. Let's go.
This isn't good. We've got to get off this station.
Why do we need to leave?
What do you think the TSF is going to find at Paragus? That could bring the Sith... You know what? Forget it. As long as we're trapped here, it doesn't matter.
What do you think, Kreia?
We cannot stay in any one place too long, but our path has brought us here for a reason. I must meditate on this. In the meantime, we should rest.
Yeah, you go ahead and meditate. As for me, I could use some sleep.
And then we rest. Getting woken up by a phone. It's criminal. So, TSF officer, let's accept the call.
Excuse me, you have a caller. Moza, representing the Ithorian planet restoration interests on Telos. Lieutenant Gren's cleared him if you'd like to speak with him.
And in comes the first real instance of alien communication, which, let's just say there's not many voice clips for these, so, yes. Yes, please send him in.
Very well. I'll let him in now.
So, just like with T3, I'm going to be skipping a lot of these, especially when it's over and over again. So what is this about? I wonder if I should voice these too. Let me know if I should voice these as well. I mean, there's subtitles, but if you're watching on a lower resolution, then it's Maybe I'll just voice them anyway. No, could you explain it? So are you familiar with the restoration project on Telos? No, could you explain it to me? The surface of Telos was destroyed during the Jedi Civil War a few years ago. This, the Citadel Station, is part of the Republic's... I'm not fast enough to voice act it. I'm sorry, you're going to have to deal with subtitles. No, what troubles have you had? So, would you believe a corporation, if I could speak, has integrated itself into government and the police force, and is acting in its own interest and not the interest in the interest of the planet they've integrated in? Would you believe that could be the case? I find it hard to believe. There's certainly nothing about real life happening right now. So how is Zerka harming the restoration project? Why would Zerka do this? How did they take the restoration zones? So how could I help? So another mention of an echo in the Force that can be felt even by this Ithorian priest. So, heal me?
Perhaps Chodahabat should turn his eyes to his own people, if they truly suffer so.
I'll consider it. Oh, yeah, I'll consider working with the Ithorians.
Now perhaps we will be able to rest uninterrupted.
And we'll rest. This time I apparently sleep. And I get woken up again. I am gonna plug this damn phone. I am calling Comcast. I am not happy with my service. So, B4D4 Zerka Corporation, who we just heard about. Well, let's hear what they have to say anyway.
Good day. I am B4D4, Administrative Assistant for Zerka Corporation's Citadel Station branch. I am attempting to connect you with Executive Officer Jana Lorso. May I put you through?
Sure. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. I will connect you now. Good day.
Thank you for accepting my call. As my assistant no doubt informed you, I am Jana Lorso.
Why are you calling?
I understand that you were approached by an Ithorian earlier. Doubtless he tried to obtain your help. attempting to purchase it with imposed guilt and veiled threats.
I don't recall him threatening me.
Oh, I suppose he didn't mention the exchange, helping you with any problems here? In other words, the Ithorians won't lead the exchange to you if you work with them.
No, he didn't mention anything like that.
Well, no matter. My apologies. I never intended to waste your time discussing Ithorians.
Go on.
I believe you're a person of influence. Someone I'd like on my side, rather than aiding the Ithorians, whose quasi-mysticism and bumbling foolishness is standing in the way of progress and profit. I'm not asking for your help, though. I'm offering you a job. Work for Zerka and be handsomely rewarded. You'd be helping yourself. If you're interested, please visit our offices here in Residential 082. B44 will know what to do when you arrive.
How are the Ithorians in the way of things?
Their plans for the restoration of Telos are aimless and meandering. Restore the sacred natural beauty of Telos, they say. Just what does that mean? How does that apply to natural resource development and consumption? The proper planning of urban sectors, resorts and tourism? It doesn't. The Ithorians are spending billions of Republic credits on a plan with no defined profit. If it continues, they'll drive the Republic into irreparable debt and have nothing to show for it but a few meadows and a weather generator the size of a small continent.
Yes. So there's no profit involved, so there's no point. Or the only value is in the bottom line. What sort of work are we talking about if we work with Zerka?
I'd rather discuss that in person. I'll be more than happy to answer any and all questions when you visit our offices.
I can't say I will consider it. I'll come by when I can.
Excellent. Good luck with that messy investigation, and I hope to see you shortly.
We should get back to bed. Whenever they decide to release us, we should get going immediately.
And third time's the charm.
Explain something to me.
I do not have the years required, nor the desire to indulge you.
If he served in the war, well, Jedi are supposed to be tough, capable.
Yes, and what are they without the Force? Take the greatest Jedi Knight, strip away the Force, and what remains? They rely on it, depend on it more than they know. Watch as one tries to hold a blaster, as they try to hold a lightsaber, and you will see nothing more than a woman, or a man, a child.
But to lose so much, I guess I didn't realize how much they relied on it.
Do not be surprised. In many ways, even you are more capable than a Jedi. You could survive where they could not, simply because you do not hear the Force as they do. It is irony of a sort, and it is why I tolerate your presence now.
But such a loss of ability, for a Jedi, it seems so extreme.
He has been gone from war some time. It is conflict that strengthens us, and isolation that weakens us, erodes us. Add to that he turned away from war, did all that he could to forget it, and the last piece clicks into place. But we have spoken enough of this, and we do him a disservice by not speaking of this while he is present.
I've come to inform you that the Telosian government has completed its inspection of what's left of the Paragus facility. It appears that the Harbinger had indeed been present, though it was gone when our ships arrived and was responsible for the station's destruction. Logs recovered from the facility's wreckage indicated that the miners perished as a result of sabotage, which began while you and your companions were either incapacitated or incarcerated. As such, you are to be released from house arrest. However, the Republic is sending its own ship. They have insisted that you remain on station for the duration of their search.
Why is the Republic sending a ship?
To further investigate the station's destruction and search for their missing ship, the Harbinger.
How long will I have to stay?
The sojourn is already en route, likely not more than a few standard days. Feel free to use these quarters during your stay.
Is the Ebon Hawk still impounded?
The vessel's IND is complete. Please visit the TSF station and Entertainment Module 081 to complete the necessary paperwork at the front desk. The Ebon Hawk should be transferred from the impound docks by the time you're free to leave.
What about my T3 droid?
After filling out the paperwork, it'll be transferred with your ship along with your confiscated weapons and armor.
Well, now what? We can't just stick around. We need to find a way off the station. Whether it's the Ebon Hawk or some other ship. We could hit Nar Shaddaa, maybe. If you've got people coming after you, it's where you go to get lost in the crowd.
You know that from experience?
Hey, everyone needs to get lost once in a while. Get away from something, you know? It's no big deal.
What do you think, Kreia?
It is difficult to say. I feel we came to Telos for a reason, but we may have spent too much time here already. Even if the Harbinger was destroyed at Paragus, more Sith could already be on their way. Still, there is a chance we might learn of other Jedi here on the planet's surface. Jedi who might help us restore your abilities, or sever the link between us.
Well, what do you think?
Stay or explore Telos. We need a ship. Let's find the Ebon Hawk.
Makes sense. I'll follow your lead.
And, yeah, interesting conversation between Atton and Kreia, and certainly not the last. So Kreia has somewhat a negative view of those who hold the Force, and rightfully points out how dependent they are on it. And Atton has the ability to survive where Jedi can't, simply because he doesn't feel the Force. So a lot going on there, but I think that's been enough dialogue for one day. We've arrived on Telos and are technically not under house arrest anymore, or in Force cages, thankfully. Next time, we're going to explore Telos proper, see what happened to our ship, and go from there. But in the meantime, I've been Jake. This has been Knights of the Old Republic 2. Have a good one.